Daniel always believed his life was steady, not perfect, but solid. He had a small house in Ohio, a dependable job, and a wife he thought loved him. Emily was warmth in human form, soft laughter, thoughtful notes in his lunch, late-night talks about dreams they hadn't yet achieved. And then there was his father, Richard. Richard had raised Daniel alone after his mother died. He was a stern but loving man, the kind who fixed things instead of talking about feelings. Daniel respected him deeply, even if they rarely said, "I love you," out loud. Everything seemed normal, until the silences began. Emily started staying up late, claiming she couldn't sleep. She guarded her phone. She flinched when Daniel touched her shoulder unexpectedly. At first, he blamed stress. Then distance turned into cold politeness. One night, Daniel woke up at 2:14 a.m. The other side of the bed was empty. He walked downstairs. The back door was slightly open. His stomach tightened. Through the kitchen window, he saw headlights at the edge of the driveway, his father's old pickup truck. Confusion flooded him. Why would his father be here at this hour? Daniel stepped outside quietly, the gravel cold beneath his bare feet. He moved toward the truck but froze when he heard voices coming from the barn behind the house. Emily's voice. Soft. Emotional. He crept closer, heart hammering so loudly he was sure they'd hear it. Then he heard his father speak. Low. Gentle. Intimate. Daniel's world tilted. He reached the barn door and looked through the crack. Emily stood inches from Richard. Tears streaked her face. Richard was holding her hands. Daniel's breath stopped. Emily whispered, "We can't keep hiding this." Richard looked torn apart. "I know, but he's my son." The words hit Daniel like a physical blow. Rage ignited instantly, hot, blinding, uncontrollable. He pushed the door open so hard it slammed against the wall. Both of them jumped. Silence swallowed the barn. Daniel's voice shook with fury. "How long?" Emily's face went pale. Richard stepped forward, but Daniel shoved him back. "Don't touch me." Emily tried to speak, but Daniel cut her off. "My wife. My own father. Are you serious?" Pain twisted Richard's face. "Son, it's not what you think." Daniel laughed bitterly. "You're holding hands in a barn at 2 a.m. Tell me what I'm supposed to think." Emily broke down crying. "I never meant for this to happen." Daniel's anger cracked into heartbreak. "Then how did it happen?" She hesitated, then spoke words that made everything stop. "It started because of you." The accusation stunned him. "What?" She wiped her tears. "You've been gone for months emotionally. Working late. Shutting me out. I felt invisible." Daniel clenched his fists. "So you slept with my father?" Richard stepped in firmly. "We did not sleep together." Daniel glared at him. "You expect me to believe that?" Richard's voice broke. "I swear on your mother's grave." The conviction in his voice caused Daniel's rage to falter, just slightly. Emily nodded. "He's telling the truth." Daniel looked between them, confused and furious. "Then what is this?" Emily took a trembling breath. "I came to Richard for advice. About leaving you." The words sliced deeper than any betrayal. "He listened. He defended you. He told me to fight for our marriage." Daniel stared at his father. Richard continued softly, "She was lonely, son. I told her you were drowning in work and didn't realize it." Daniel's anger wavered, replaced by dread. Emily spoke again, voice shaking. "Somewhere along the way, I started relying on him too much. Not romantically, emotionally. It crossed lines, even if nothing physical happened." Daniel felt the ground slip beneath him. "So you were having an emotional affair?" She nodded slowly. "I hated myself for it. That's why I said we can't keep hiding this. I wanted to tell you." Daniel looked at his father. "And you?" Richard's eyes were full of shame. "I failed you. I should have told you sooner instead of trying to fix things quietly." Silence filled the barn again, but now it was heavy with grief instead of rage. Daniel's voice came out hollow. "Why meet at night?" Emily answered, Because I was afraid you'd misunderstand. Daniel let out a broken laugh. Well, that worked out great. Tears welled in his eyes, not just from betrayal, but from realization. He had been gone. Obsessed with promotions, overtime, proving himself. He thought providing financially was enough. It wasn't. He looked at Emily, the woman he loved, now emotionally attached to the man he trusted most. Pain, anger, sadness, regret, all at once. So what now? He asked quietly. Emily stepped closer but stopped short of touching him. The truth now. No more secrets. If you want me to leave, I will. If you want therapy, I'll fight for us. Richard added, and I'll stay out of your marriage completely. I already told her this was the last meeting. Daniel looked between them, searching for lies. He saw only guilt and fear of losing him. The twist of emotion inside him was unbearable. He had come expecting to expose a physical affair. Instead, he found something messier, emotional betrayal mixed with his own neglect. After a long silence, he spoke. I'm angry. I feel betrayed. But I also see how we got here. Emily cried harder. Daniel continued, voice unsteady. If there's even a chance to fix this, we try. But boundaries start now. He turned to Richard. No more private talks. Ever. Richard nodded immediately. Agreed. Daniel looked at Emily. And total honesty. Even when it hurts. I promise, she whispered. He didn't hug her. He didn't forgive her fully either. But he didn't walk away. As they left the barn together, Daniel realized something unexpected. The night he thought would destroy his family had actually exposed the cracks that might finally let them rebuild it, stronger or not at all. And that uncertainty hurt more than betrayal ever could. They walked back to the house in silence, the cold night air pressing against them like judgment. Inside, the kitchen light felt too bright, exposing every unspoken thought. Emily stood near the table, afraid to sit. Daniel poured himself water, hands still shaking. I meant what I said, he began quietly. We try, but it won't be the same overnight. Emily nodded, wiping her eyes. I don't expect it to be. I just want the chance to earn your trust again. He studied her face, guilt, fear, but also determination. For the first time in months, he admitted, you're looking at me, not through me. Her voice cracked. Because I almost lost you. A long pause followed. Then Daniel did something neither of them expected. He reached for her hand. Not tightly, not warmly, but not cold either. A chance, he said. That's all this is right now. Emily squeezed his fingers like it was hope itself. Upstairs, the empty bed no longer felt like absence, but like a fragile beginning. And though the wounds were still open, both of them finally understood. Healing would hurt. But silence had hurt far more. Days passed slowly. Therapy sessions, honest talks, tears at midnight. Trust didn't return, it rebuilt, brick by brick. And one quiet morning, Daniel realized, the anger was no longer louder than his heart.